My 15th birthday was canceled because of my spoiled brother. So, today was supposed to be my 15th birthday party, and I've been waiting for this day for months. Everything was ready, my friends were coming over, the decorations looked amazing, and we had this huge cake. We even planned to have a bonfire later in the backyard, but of course, my little brother had to ruin everything, and now my party is completely canceled. Let me start from the beginning. I've been so excited about turning 15. It's a big deal, right? I had invited a bunch of my friends from school, and we were going to hang out in the backyard, eat cake, and just have a great time. My parents helped me set up everything. There were balloons, streamers, and even a cute picnic area with blankets and pillows. It was going to be perfect. But my brother, he's 12 and has always been spoiled. Like, whenever something isn't about him, he throws a tantrum. I don't know why my parents let him get away with so much. In the days leading up to my party, he kept complaining about how it's not fair that I get a party and he doesn't. He's such a brat, honestly. I tried to ignore him, but I should have known he was going to do something to mess things up. So, my friends started arriving, and I was super happy. We were all hanging out, taking selfies, and everything seemed great. But then my brother came outside and started yelling that no one cared about him, and how it wasn't fair that the day wasn't about him. Like, seriously, it's my birthday, and he's acting like it's the worst thing in the world that he's not getting attention. My parents, instead of making him stop, were like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll do something special for you later." Yeah, because that's what he needs. More attention. Anyway, I thought maybe that would calm him down, but no. He stormed off and I figured he was just going to sulk in his room or something. But then, out of nowhere, I see him grab the matches we were going to use for the bonfire later. He walked over to one of the trees in our backyard, and before anyone could stop him, he started trying to set it on fire. Yes, you read that right. He lit the tree on fire. At first it was just a small flame, but then the whole tree caught on fire. My parents were freaking out, and I was standing there, completely shocked. The flames spread super fast, and within minutes, the bushes around the tree were also on fire. I couldn't believe it. My brother's tantrum had turned into an actual fire. Everything went crazy after that. My parents were yelling, my friends were backing away from the fire, and our neighbors even ran over to help. But the fire was spreading too fast. My dad ended up calling the fire department, and it was just chaos. This was supposed to be my birthday party, and now the entire backyard was on fire because my brother couldn't handle not being the center of attention for one day. By the time the firefighters arrived, the backyard was a mess. They had to put out the fire, and the whole area was scorched. There was smoke everywhere, and it was honestly terrifying. I couldn't believe what was happening. All I wanted was a normal birthday party, and now I was watching the firefighters deal with the disaster my brother caused. Obviously, the party was canceled. My parents were busy talking to the firefighters and dealing with the damage, and all my friends had to go home. No cake, no bonfire, nothing. It was just over. My special day was ruined, and all because my brother threw a tantrum. I'm so mad right now. I've been waiting for this day for so long, and he completely ruined it. My parents say they'll try to do something to make it up to me, but honestly, how can they? The party I had planned is gone, and I don't even feel like celebrating anymore. It's just not the same. My brother got in trouble, obviously, but it doesn't change the fact that my birthday is ruined, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to look back on this day without thinking about the fire and how everything went wrong. Has anyone else had their birthday ruined by a sibling like this? I just feel so upset and disappointed. I wanted one day that was about me, but instead, all the attention went to him. I don't know what to do. It feels like no matter what, my brother always finds a way to make everything about him, and I'm so tired of it. After the fire was out and everything calmed down, I was just sitting there in shock. My birthday was supposed to be amazing, and now it was a disaster. There was smoke everywhere, the backyard was ruined, and I didn't even get to blow out my candles. I kept thinking, how could this happen? How could my brother be so selfish? My parents were talking to the firefighters, and they kept looking over at me like they felt bad, but it didn't matter. The day was already ruined. My friends texted me saying they were sorry and that they had a good time, but I knew they were just being nice. How could they have had fun when my brother literally started a fire in the middle of my party? Speaking of my brother, he didn't even seem to care. Like, yeah, my parents were yelling at him and grounding him, but it's like he didn't realize the damage he caused. He just shrugged and said he didn't mean for the fire to spread like that. I was so mad. It's like he thought setting a tree on fire was no big deal. He ruined everything, and all he got was a talking to and a grounding. How is that fair? I went inside because I couldn't stand looking at the mess anymore. The whole day, all I wanted was for it to be perfect. I wanted to hang out with my friends, eat cake, and maybe even roast marshmallows later. But nope. Instead of s'mores, I got smoke and firefighters. I felt like crying, but I was also so angry that I couldn't even cry. I just sat in my room, staring at my phone, not sure what to do next. My parents eventually came to talk to me. They were trying to comfort me, saying that they were sorry and that they'd make it up to me. They promised we could plan another party or do something special another day, but I didn't care. How could they fix this? The party I'd been planning for months was gone, and it wasn't like we could just redo it. My friends had already been here. The decorations were ruined, and even if we did plan another party, I knew it wouldn't feel the same. The whole point was for today to be my day, but now it's the day my brother set the backyard on fire. I told my parents I didn't want to talk about it anymore, and they left me alone after that. I could hear them downstairs, still cleaning up and talking about what to do with the backyard. I know they feel bad, but it's not like they can turn back time and make my brother not do what he did. And the worst part, I feel like no matter what, this is always going to be the story people talk about when they think of my 15th birthday. Like, instead of, oh, remember that awesome party we had at your house? It's going to be, remember when your brother started that fire and ruined your birthday? I hate that. I don't want my birthday to be remembered as a joke or a disaster, but that's what it feels like now. I texted a couple of my friends later, and they were all really nice about it. They said they were sorry the party got canceled and that we'll find a way to celebrate later. One of my friends even joked that at least I'll have a crazy story to tell people. But I don't want a crazy story. I just wanted one day where everything wasn't about my brother. It seems like every time something important happens to me, he has to find a way to make it about him. Whether it's his tantrums or his constant need for attention, I'm always the one who ends up with the short end of the stick. I don't know if I'm being dramatic, but it just feels like nothing is ever fully about me. Like, I know that sounds selfish, but can I have one day where I'm the center of attention without him ruining it? Is that too much to ask? I don't think it is, but apparently my brother does. Now I'm just sitting here, still fuming. My parents told me to calm down and that we'll figure something out, but I don't want to figure something out. I want my party back. I want my day back, but I can't have that because my brother had to go and ruin everything. I don't even know what to do next. My parents are talking about fixing the backyard and maybe planning something small for next weekend, but I don't think I'm in the mood to celebrate anymore. I'm just too angry and disappointed, and I know my brother is going to act like everything's fine in a few days, but it's not fine. It's not fine at all. So yeah, that's how my 15th birthday went from being the best day ever to being a total disaster. Has anyone else had their birthday ruined like this? I just feel so upset and don't know how to get over it. I don't even want to talk to my brother right now, and I feel like my parents don't really understand how much this ruined everything for me. Update. So, after everything that happened, I just couldn't stop thinking about how unfair it all was. Like, my brother literally set the backyard on fire, and now I'm the one sitting here feeling miserable. I didn't do anything wrong. It was supposed to be my day, and instead I'm stuck cleaning up the mess. Well, not literally cleaning. My parents and the firefighters took care of that. But emotionally, you know, I'm the one dealing with all the disappointment. My parents kept trying to talk to me about rescheduling the party, but I didn't even want to hear it. I know they're trying to make it better, but the damage is already done. There's no way to redo a birthday party, not really. It's not just the decorations or the cake, it's the whole vibe that was ruined. All my friends were excited, I was excited, and then boom, everything went up in flames, literally. I just kept thinking, why does my brother always have to be like this? I get that he's younger, but he's 12. Shouldn't he know better by now? I mean, I get that little kids throw tantrums, but setting a tree on fire? That's next level. And of course, he doesn't even seem to care about what he did. He got grounded, sure, but I know in a few days, he'll be back to his usual self, acting like nothing happened. Later that night, my parents sat me down for another talk. They were really trying to be nice, telling me how sorry they were and that they'd do anything to make it up to me. My mom even said she felt like they hadn't done enough to stop my brother when he started throwing his tantrum earlier in the day. She admitted that they probably should have been tougher on him instead of just promising to do something special for him later. It was nice to hear that, I guess, but it didn't really fix anything. They kept talking about planning another party, but I just couldn't get excited about it. I mean, how could I? Every time I think about celebrating, all I picture is the fire and how everything went wrong. It feels like there's no point in trying to make it up because the day I cared about is already gone. Eventually, I told them I didn't want to talk about it anymore, and they finally left me alone. I just wanted to be by myself at that point. I ended up lying in bed, scrolling through my phone, trying to distract myself, but I couldn't stop thinking about the whole situation. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Do I just pretend it didn't happen and move on? How am I supposed to act around my brother? I don't even want to look at him right now. My friends have been super supportive though. A few of them texted me later that night, asking how I was doing and telling me not to worry about the party being canceled. They're trying to make me feel better, which I really appreciate, but it's hard to not feel upset about the whole thing. One of them even suggested we all go out for pizza next weekend to celebrate in a smaller way, but I'm not sure if I'm even up for that yet. I guess I'm still trying to process everything. It's not just about the party being ruined. It's about the fact that my brother keeps getting away with this kind of stuff. He always finds a way to make everything about him, and I'm just tired of it. It's exhausting, feeling like you always have to fight for attention or for your special moments to actually stay special. The next day, my parents were still trying to talk to me about planning something else, but I kept saying no. I don't want another party. I don't want to pretend like we can just redo it and everything will be fine. It's not fine, and it won't be. I know that probably sounds dramatic, but that's just how I feel right now. My brother hasn't really apologized either. I mean, he said sorry after my parents made him, but it wasn't a real apology. You know when someone just says sorry because they have to? Yeah, that's what he did. I don't think he even understands how badly he messed up. I don't know if he ever will. Honestly, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I'm still mad, obviously, and I don't know when I'll stop being mad. Maybe once I calm down, I'll want to do something to celebrate, but right now, I just feel like there's no point. I keep thinking about what could have been, how the day was supposed to go, and how it actually went. It's like my birthday was hijacked by my brother's drama, and I'm the one left picking up the pieces. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. My 15th birthday is officially the worst one ever, and I don't know how to make it better. Maybe I'll figure it out, or maybe I won't. But right now, all I can think about is how unfair it all feels. I just wanted one day for myself, and I couldn't even have that. The next morning, I woke up and hoped that maybe everything would feel a little better, but it didn't. I was still upset, and honestly, I didn't even want to leave my room. My parents were being all understanding, which just made me feel worse, like they were walking on eggshells around me. It's not like I'm going to explode or anything, but at the same time, I kind of wanted them to understand how big of a deal this was for me. When I finally went downstairs, my mom asked if I wanted to talk. I just shook my head and grabbed some breakfast. There wasn't anything left to say, honestly. I knew they wanted to make it better, but I didn't know how they could. My dad even mentioned the idea of having a smaller celebration in a week or two, but I just wasn't feeling it. Why would I want to try again when everything was already ruined? It would feel forced and fake. My brother, of course, was nowhere to be seen. I'm pretty sure he was hiding out in his room, probably avoiding me because he knew I was still mad. I hadn't said a word to him since the whole fire incident. I mean, what was there to say? Oh hey, thanks for ruining my birthday? I didn't want to talk to him, and I wasn't ready to forgive him, especially when he didn't even seem to care about what he'd done. Later in the day, a couple of my friends texted me again, checking in to see how I was doing. I appreciated it, but it also reminded me of what should have been happening. Like, we should have been talking about how great the party was, not how it got canceled because of my brother's tantrum. One of my friends, Emily, even said, "At least you'll have a story to tell when school starts again." I know she was trying to make me feel better, but it just made me more frustrated. I don't want to be the girl with the ruined birthday party because her brother started a fire. That's not the kind of story I wanted. As the day went on, I couldn't stop thinking about how unfair it all was. My brother still hadn't come out of his room, and I was getting angrier by the minute. I kept replaying the whole thing in my head, how he threw a tantrum, grabbed the matches, and then acted like it wasn't a big deal. And then the fire, the chaos, my friends having to leave, and the firefighters in our backyard. It was like a bad dream, and I couldn't escape it. That evening, my parents called a family meeting. I knew it was coming, and I really wasn't in the mood for it, but I went downstairs anyway. We all sat in the living room, and my parents started talking about how we needed to address what happened. My mom was being all serious, like, "We know this was a huge deal, and we want to make sure it doesn't happen again." And then, they asked my brother to apologize again. He gave this half-hearted apology saying, "Sorry I ruined your party," but it was so fake. I could tell he didn't really mean it. I just stared at him, not even sure what to say. My mom told him to be more sincere, and he sighed and said, "I didn't mean for it to get that bad." That's when I kinda lost it. "That's not the point," I shouted. "You never think about anyone but yourself. You always have to make everything about you, and now my birthday is ruined because of you." I could feel tears welling up in my eyes, but I didn't want to cry in front of everyone, so I just stopped talking. There was this awkward silence for a minute, and then my dad tried to jump in with his usual "we need to move on" speech, but I wasn't ready to move on. How could I move on when it felt like nothing was going to change? My brother was just going to go back to his normal self in a few days, and I was going to be left with the memory of my ruined birthday. My mom tried to reassure me, saying, "We're going to plan something special for you, I promise." But I just shook my head. After that, I got up and went back to my room. I didn't want to hear any more apologies or promises. They couldn't fix what had already happened, and no matter what they did, my birthday would always be tied to this disaster. I just wanted to be alone, to deal with my feelings on my own. The next few days were awkward. My parents were still trying to make it up to me, asking if I wanted to go out to dinner or do something fun, but I wasn't interested. I didn't feel like celebrating anymore. My brother was still grounded, but honestly, I don't think it was enough. He got to stay in his room, play video games, and avoid everyone, while I had to sit with all this anger and disappointment. It just didn't feel fair. I started avoiding everyone, really. I didn't feel like talking to my friends about what happened anymore, and I didn't want to keep hearing my parents say they were sorry. I spent most of my time in my room, either watching videos or trying to distract myself with anything else, but it didn't really work. Every time I thought about my birthday, I'd get mad all over again. It's been about a week now, and I'm still not over it. I'm trying to figure out how to move past this, but it's hard when the person who ruined your birthday is your own brother, and he doesn't even seem to care. I know my parents mean well, but I don't know if anything they do will make me feel better about what happened. Maybe, eventually, I'll have another celebration. Maybe I'll get to do something fun with my friends. But right now, it still feels like my birthday was stolen from me, and I don't know how to get it back. Update. Another week has passed, and honestly, I'm still not sure how to feel. I'm trying to get back to normal, but it's hard when all I can think about is how my 15th birthday went completely off the rails. My parents are still being overly nice to me, like they think that if they're just super sweet, I'll suddenly feel better about everything. But it doesn't work like that. I haven't really talked to my brother since the whole fire thing. He's still grounded, which means he's stuck at home, but I've been doing everything I can to avoid him. Every time I see him, I just get angry all over again. I can't believe he still doesn't understand what he did. It's like he thinks saying sorry once makes it all better, but it doesn't. He ruined something really important to me, and I don't think he even cares. My parents keep suggesting we do something fun to make up for the canceled party. My mom even suggested a trip to the mall or something like that, just to cheer me up. But I don't want to go to the mall. I don't want some quick replacement for the birthday I should have had. I feel like they don't really get it. They think a do-over is going to magically fix everything, but that's not how it works. The truth is, I don't think anything is going to fix this. I keep thinking about how the day was supposed to go. Me hanging out with my friends, eating cake, laughing, and maybe even roasting marshmallows at the bonfire later. But instead, it all turned into chaos. There's no way to undo that. No matter what we do now, it's not going to be the same. My friends have been really understanding, which helps a little. They keep checking in on me, and we're talking about maybe doing something small together soon, like grabbing pizza or hanging out at the park. They're trying to cheer me up, but I can tell they're not sure what to say. I mean, what do you say to someone whose birthday got ruined by a fire? It's not exactly a situation you can easily fix with a, "Hey, let's hang out." And then there's my brother. He finally came into my room yesterday to apologize again, but it was the same fake apology he gave before. He just stood there awkwardly and said, "Sorry about the party. I didn't mean for things to get so bad." I just looked at him. not even sure what to say. I mean, how do you even respond to that? I was so mad I couldn't even speak, so I just told him to leave. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive him for this. I know it might sound dramatic, but it feels like this whole thing has changed the way I see him. Before, he was just my annoying little brother who threw tantrums. But now it feels like he actually doesn't care about anyone but himself. He didn't care about my birthday. He didn't care that he ruined the party. And he definitely doesn't care about how I feel right now. That's the part that hurts the most. That he doesn't even seem to care. I overheard my parents talking about the backyard, and apparently, it's going to take a while to fix the damage from the fire. The tree is completely gone, and a bunch of the bushes are dead too. They're talking about planting new stuff and fixing the grass, but it's going to take months for everything to look normal again. So even when I go outside, all I can think about is the fire. It's like a constant reminder of what happened. It feels like I can't escape it, even if I try. I guess the worst part of all of this is that it's not just about the party being canceled, it's about feeling like I don't matter. My birthday was supposed to be my day, but instead, it became all about my brother and his tantrum. And now, even though he's grounded, it feels like the whole house is focused on him. My parents are constantly checking in on me to see if I'm okay, but they're also spending a lot of time dealing with him and his punishment. Once again, it feels like he's getting all the attention, even though he's the one who caused the problem in the first place. I know my parents are trying to be fair, but I can't help feeling resentful. I'm the one who got hurt in all of this, but it's like everyone's walking on eggshells around my brother. They're afraid to upset him too much because he might throw another tantrum. Meanwhile, I'm left to deal with my ruined birthday and my anger, and it feels like no one really understands how much this has affected me. I'm not sure what happens next. Maybe in a few weeks, I'll be ready to celebrate in some small way with my friends. But right now, I just don't feel like celebrating. I don't feel like doing anything, honestly. I'm still so mad, and I don't know how long it's going to take for that to go away. Has anyone else ever had their birthday ruined like this? How do you move on when something you've been looking forward to for months just falls apart? I feel like I'm supposed to just get over it, but I can't. I don't know how to. I wish I could have my birthday back, but I can't. I guess I just have to figure out how to move forward, but I'm not sure how to do that yet.